What does it mean to you? I mean, we all live to hear praise from colleagues. So what does it mean to hear that you mean so much to the students and the people you work with?
You know what? It's such a blessing to work for Oberlin City Schools. I work for a tremendous school district, and the kids are so wonderful. And I get inspiration from my students. And each and every day, my students bring a sense of respect, a sense of a eagerness to learn, and just fortunate that I'm a part of this great part of education.
No, but they say they get inspiration from you, Mr.
That's
Russell.
right.
So where did it come from that you wanted to be a teacher to begin with?
Ironically, it was 3 pictures.
3 pictures.
3 simple pictures.
1, 2, 3, go.
Yes, growing up in the South, well, my family grew up in the South, and they always had these 3 pictures, Martin Luther King Jr., JFK, and Jesus. And I was so interested in those 3 pictures and became interested in stories. And that's history. It's just nothing but stories. And I just really fell in love with the aspiration of telling stories.
Wow. You heard from Mr. Larry Thomas there, who's
Yes.
your mentor. I love this idea because we've all talked about this, how every one of us can name teachers that have
Our favorite
impacted
teacher,
us
yes.
in our lives. I mean, I can go back to kindergarten and name every year a teacher who inspired me. And to have Mr. Thomas talk about you in the way that he did, you're standing on his shoulders. How does that feel?
Well, Mr. Thomas was the first black male teacher I ever had.
Wow.
And since my kindergarten days, I always wanted to be a teacher. So Mr. Thomas showed me the attainable goal of being a teacher, gave me that inspiration, the way he dressed, the way he just carried himself. And it means a lot for me to hear Mr. Thomas speak highly of me.
You mentioned stories and being able to communicate those stories. It's tough for teachers to take history and then communicate it to a young mind in a way that creates an engagement, and you do that listening to your students. But you take that head on, though. You teach African-American history,
Yes, I
and
do.
you also have a course that Gail mentioned, Race, Gender, and Oppression.
Yes.
Now, race is a big debate in this country. Why do you take it head on?
Because it's my responsibility to provide my students with a holistic opportunity to learn. The one thing that I really would like to stress receiving this award is to make sure that students receive a well-rounded, diverse education. And that starts with faculty and staff, and also starts within the curriculum as well, making sure that students see themselves in the curriculum, and I believe that's how students are engaged.
A hot topic is critical race theory.
It's very
I would
hot.
love to get your thoughts on that. And why do you believe it's such a hot topic in this country?
Well, first of all, I do not teach critical race theory. What I teach is history. I try to make sure that my students have the most opportunity to learn. And the way I do that is through engagement, by allowing my students to see themselves in the curriculum. And by seeing themselves in the curriculum, students are growing. From my own experience with my students in my classroom, I see that. My courses are electives, and so it's not a mandatory course, and students are signing up for this
That means
course.
they want to be there. I love when one student said, you command respect, you command attention, you're very engaging. What was it like for you teaching during the pandemic? Because you couldn't be with your kids face to face.
It was really difficult.
Was it tough for you?
Yes, it was. It was difficult for not
Why?
only teacher, but other professionals as well, because I was not engaged with my students.
Zoom, you mean?
With Zoom. That computer screen, that barrier was very difficult for me. I like being in the classroom with my students, being engaging, and I get feedback. I get energy from my students as well, so it was difficult.
Rumor is you're going to be invited to the White House.
Whoa.
Whoa. We haven't been invited to the White House
we've
yet.
not.
So what's your message? And Dr. Jill Biden, you know, is a teacher. She's one of
Yes.
your homies, so she understands this.
Yeah, my message is clear: to provide a diverse education opportunity for all students. And when I mean diverse, representing faculty and staff as well, only 2% of teachers are black males. But it's
Only
more than
2%?
that. Only 2%.
Wow.
Didn't
But it's
realize
more than
that.
that. It's women in STEM. It's men in the primary years. And also to provide my students with a diverse curriculum, to make sure that African-American history class and race, gender, and oppression class become normalized and not different.
Well, we appreciate you. Thank you so much, and congratulations
Yes.
again.
Congratulations.
Thank you for approaching your job with passion.
Thank you
Not
so
all
much.
teachers do. We appreciate you. You guys are the true superheroes. Kurt Russell, the real Kurt Russell, by the way.